Happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, folks. Welcome to the CoEd
Christmas Kwanzaa.
edition. Birds of a Feather. It's your girl, AJ, the Suburban Princess, with my co-ed, Eddie B. What's up, Eddie?
What's going on, AJ?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and all your
Happy Kwanzaa.
family. Happy
Yes.
Kwanzaa.
Yes, to your family. It's also
Mhm.
the Hanukkah's over, but I still like to combine Christmas, Kwanzaa, because that just includes everybody. And we're technically going to be focused. Today is day 2 of Kwanzaa, which is Kujichagulia, which is one of the principles I had to rehearse when I did a play for a for Black History Month at McKinley Baptist Church, and I got the longest freaking Swahili word, Kujichagulia,
And you
which
had to
means
say
self determination.
it.
Abari Gani is what's the news. So all those who celebrate Kwanzaa, that is why I always remember Kujichagulia just for that. So it's ingrained in my mind. You know,
You probably
look up
said
the
it.
history of
You
Kwanzaa.
probably said it so many times just to get it. Make sure you got it
Kujichagulia, yeah, self determination. All right,
right.
so and I'm determined to have another spectacular podcast with you, my fellow co-ed, to discuss the loss yet stop being blue, as this title says. The birds are 13-2, so relax. But Eddie, we had some major casualties to some familiar names. Once again, our little Avante has gone down.
Yeah, he's gone down again.
Turf toe. I blame the Dallas Cowboys turf.
It's fucked up ass stadium.
Fucked
It's
up.
like-
Just get some fucking grass. All we ask for next
That's
year, on
it.
top of the improvements y'all gonna get, just get it done, Jerry. You got the money. And then
hire
we
gr-
lost.
hire grounds crew. I mean, do what you got to do, man. Let's
Seriously,
go.
you might want to talk to our president, because apparently Jeffrey Lurie knows.
Refer our grounds. Some people at grounds crew may know. It's good,
Yes. I think they're award-winning grounds crew too. So
Yeah,
you might want
exactly.
to check to your neighbors, Jer in the NFC,
To
for advice
say,
on how to get a
hey,
better turf. You know.
they did mention that during the game how they want to do like how turf's causing a lot of
I mean, come
injuries.
on. I mean,
You
come on.
know,
Let's just be honest. I mean, granted, none of the Cowboys went down, but they're probably also used to it. So, but you got players like ours, and AJ's had another issue when he caught one of his balls, and I think he was starting to feel a tweak in his leg. Thank God he was fine. But the point is,
yeah,
and then the other injury, obviously, news is Lane Johnson has now
hmm
torn an abdominal muscle, which sounds like to me like that sports hernia thing,
yeah.
but
It's close to that. Yeah,
it's
pretty
close
much.
to
Yeah,
that. But the bottom line is no one could really figure out what he was hurting at the time, because it looked like he was grabbing his leg. Then they said he couldn't. They had to take him in the back, which was not a good sign because he wasn't coming back. So the bottom line is, Eddie, how do you feel even after they lost 40-34?
I mean, I feel. Yeah, of course, I wanted them to win. Of course, I always do. But I feel I don't feel defeated because all in all, I mean, short of some mental mistakes, they could have took that game. It's those three picks and two fumbles did not help us.
Nope.
And uh, and, if, and it just shows you if they play, I would say perfect football, but they they can only beat themselves. You know, the way they've been playing, and that's what a lot of the commentators said about the Eagles. They're like, you gotta you gotta play perfect to beat them, and if they don't, and that's just how that game went down. I mean, uh, because those short fields that the offense got
Mm,
from those turnovers that helped
mhm,
them
mhm,
tremendously.
mhm.
I mean, Eagles D was doing some work on them, but it just came down to all that short field play and not much you can really do.
Well,
And a lot of mental mistakes too. Like, oh god,
well, let's just say,
yeah.
and even then, I don't even think that really was his fault. I
And
think that might have been.
one of them, especially one of them that Quez should have fought for that ball,
I agree. That's going
and
to be
he did,
Quez's issue. Yeah,
and he did not fight for it. That was actually almost two occasions he didn't fight for the
two.
ball.
Yeah, that guy just had his number.
Yeah,
Bland.
he gonna let that guy take the ball from you like that? Like, come on.
Because they tried to do it to Goddard too, and you see how Goddard fought him on the
Yeah, but
ground.
Goddard didn't let that happen.
Goddard was like, "Fuck that."
Even skinny ass Devonta was like, nah, man, this is my ball.
Devonta said, "Let me pirouette over y'all bitches,"
Yeah,
because he
right.
was literally just skating on like tips of his toes for most of this game.
I
He
mean,
was catching ridiculous
he had
balls.
he had a hell of a game.
He
Oh
had an
God.
awesome game. He got his 1,000 right, his 100 that he needed to that night, and I knew he would. I knew that would be the game, but
Two touchdowns. I'm like,
2 touchdowns. Homie, one was wide open, they just blew an assignment, and he was just standing there waiting, and then the other time he just snuck in there, but yeah, Smitty did his thing. He represented, but I wish he could have had those stats on top of a win because honestly, they were just like one less fumble or one less pick away from winning. That's how close
yeah.
it was. But the
I
way
mean,
it was going back and forth. It just came down to somebody making a mistake at the wrong time, and it was us.
we had Boston fumbled and we had Sanders fumble. I was like,
Okay, I must
oh.
have missed the Sanders because I saw Boston fumble. I'm trying to think of
Mhm.
when Miles fumbled. Was it in
Miles
the fourth?
fumbled when he got the ball and he tried to make a move and it just got knocked out.
Oh, okay.
It went right out of his hands.
All right, I'm gonna go back and watch
And
the highlight.
he was so upset with himself. He
And he
even
should have been. He should have
you
been because
know,
he
and
wasn't getting the ball as much as he should have been again.
he
You
was
know.
when he had the ball in his hand, he was doing his thing.
Yeah, he was getting up there.
Yeah. But then it was like then he made that mistake and he just was like I mean everybody had to go well even like I think Lane Johnson went over to him and our boy the other went over they all went over to him because they were
A
just like
lotta.
yeah
Most likely be a
Mulata they
lotta. Yeah, they all go
yeah
over.
they was like yo it's okay man dude look it happens he even said he was in an interview he's like well how did you feel he's like I ain't got no excuse he's like I messed up
Yeah, he
that's all
said my fumble cost the whole, it cost the flow of the game, and it
no and
did.
honestly and it shouldn't have came down to that fumble causing the floor game.
No, they like you said, mental mistakes happen throughout the second half whereas even if it wasn't Gardner, holding on to the ball too long or waiting too long or shuffling his feet too much and backpedaling, it was somebody just not catching or not fighting for the
Yeah
ball, and like I said, a lot of guys had to be super aggressive, and they should have been prepared for that mentally, like,
and
that's why I
then
said when Dallas got the catches he got, he really
yeah
almost could have had that first touchdown really, but Gardner didn't see him. But,
yeah
you
and then
know
Garner missed Quez.
oh, he missed him on a
He
yeah.
threw it right over his head, and he
Yeah.
was like wide open. There's
But there
nobody
were
near.
2 receivers in that lane, right? So maybe that's why he thought I
No, he
thought
was
there was
all
a
by
point
no, he was all by himself.
Oh, okay, because I know there
He
was one throw where it looked like there were 2 in the
oh
area,
yeah,
and
and
I
he
was
was going
confused for
across the
him.
middle. He's going
Yeah,
across the middle,
okay,
and there was not a cowboy in sight.
and he missed that, yeah, which happens, Jalen misses them too, so it's not like it's just
Yeah,
Gardner that misses that, but all in all, I'm not one to say that if they decide to start Gardner, even if, the rumor is that they wanna start Hurts. Oh, no, they're leaving it up to Hurts, put it that way. I don't think that Hurts should even play the rest of the season because I really don't
I
think it's
mean
worth it.
Garner put up a decent showing. I mean,
I
to
think
be
they can
honest with
handle the
you,
Saints with him. It's as long
yeah,
as they know what not to do and what to fight for.
they
That's all.
just
Like,
they just gotta play mistake free football.
right? They
They
got
got
to
to
be
limit.
focused all the way.
They got to be focused. Yep, because that game they were not focused because they could have not say easily beat the Cowboys, but
They would
it
have had
could
the
have
last
happened.
advantage. Yeah,
It
they
could
would
have
have had the
happened.
last advantage. They would have been able to that point to get that pick that we're always waiting for when they're tied because this game was volleyball pretty much up
hmm
until the third, fourth quarter. And
I
honestly, they
thought
had
I honestly thought Gardner was gonna have a game winning drive in his belt, and I was like, but this didn't happen. So
I know I wanted it for him because he wants so bad to audition for someone to say
that's what
I'm
I want him to
capable.
do. I want him to
Yeah,
audition for another team. Yeah,
capable of starting for a team. I mean, honestly, all these teams out there that are just literally
the
he's
crappy
liable to get a lot
quarterbacks.
of picks from him. Crappy
Yeah,
quarterbacks, crappy front office. A lot of teams have to be blown up. I mean, obviously, Russell Wilson is stuck in the Broncos no matter what, even if they fired their coach because
I don't.
they
I
gave him
don't.
too much damn money. I mean, that'd
Ugh.
be too much money to really eat, so they have no choice. But they have to see if it's really just him, if they get another coach, or if it's truly like
Like, did he
this
just
is the
not
last
coach
of
him
his
up in
career.
the system well enough? Like,
I don't know if maybe
I
also
don't
too it
know.
could just be the same issue with Carson Wentz where it's just
Was he
mentally. I
hurt?
think that
Was he hurt? Was he hurt too? Because
he had a
I know
shoulder
for a while he was
injury.
hurt. So
He had a
were
shoulder
they were
injury and
they
then he had a concussion.
were they
You know,
downplaying that a little bit or something? Who knows?
it's highly possible. I mean, who knows? He probably felt the need to rush himself back because nobody was rushing him to come back. They were fine with that backup for a while. Because the Drew guy has played there before, but I think now
Yeah.
he's in. I think now he's in. I think he's in Carolina, or maybe he's still there. I don't know. But the point is,
Mm.
the Denver situation is way sus. And you have to think the Panthers probably are definitely going to need to upgrade, obviously. So there are places
Yeah.
for Minshew to go next year. We don't know how the Ian Book kid knows looks yet because there's no reason to know. Um, but we know that also too. The Saints can play us pretty good. We've played against them pretty tight at times. Besides the game that when they played home last year, where Slay pretty much had a day intercepting their
Hmm.
backup quarterback. But Taysom Hill is pretty sharp, so I wouldn't sleep on them. And now that they're kind of
No.
vulnerable,
Well,
every
I
game,
think I think that I think the Eagles are going to come out swinging because they're
yeah,
pissed off. They're pissed
they
off
should
after
be.
that loss. And
They should be.
you're right. They should be.
Yeah.
They are pissed off, and that's
There was
what
no
they
reason
even.
to not sweep. There was no reason to not sweep them at that point. I
And
think
then
that
Grant,
they put up a good fight.
yeah, and that's what Brandon Graham said. He's like, yeah, we're pissed off. Or Fletcher, one of them guys said that.
Fletcher said it. I think
Yeah,
Fletcher said it because I remember seeing him. He says like, "This is kind of not the way you wanted to end this whole series." Because even if they have to see them again, God knows, it's not gonna be as probably intense because at that point, the Eagles will have won the division, so it'll just be, a matter of the playoffs. But for them,
yeah,
it's more desperate for Dallas,
we see
than
him
them.
again. We see him again with Jalen at the helm. It's over.
Well, that's
That's
why I
all I'm gonna
say
say.
like, so
That's all
you're
I gotta
lucky.
say.
You're lucky it was Gardner. Let's put it that way, because I don't think Jalen would have made enough mistakes for that game to go down. Because even when Jalen has a bad day, they find a way to pull, the
even
tail between out
even
of their ass.
even what's his name? Bullshit ass Skip Bayless was like he was afraid to have his
Yeah,
Cowboys go up
should have
against
been.
Jalen. And
Honestly,
then
because as soon as Dak threw that pick, that should have made all the fans go, "Oh, wait a minute, this motherfucker ain't starting the game this way, is he?" Because
but
that's what he seemed to be doing a
yeah, but
lot.
did you also notice the you notice how conveniently when they said, "Oh, Hurts is not playing," that all of a sudden Micah Parsons was cleared to play because
Oh yeah, because they were saying that he was questionable up
from an
until the.
illness, yeah, from an
Yeah,
illness.
yeah, yeah. I thought
It was
about that,
like
but then you see how much did you see the footage of him after the
I
game?
think
Pretty much
Jalen got into his head. That's what it was.
either that or he probably felt like, yeah, you're right. I don't know if he wouldn't have not played though if Jalen was starting.
No, he probably would still play,
He
but
would have still played. He would have still
he
played.
seemed a little apprehensive though about playing though,
I
which
mean,
is
honestly. Honestly, Jalen hasn't responded to any of it, so that's on
yeah.
him to feel bad about. Jalen doesn't
Yeah,
care. Jalen's
he
focused.
should have kept his damn mouth shut. That's what he should have did.
I didn't really think he said anything inflammatory as much as just stupid. Like, it wasn't
Just
like anything that pissed
yeah,
me off. It was just more like, "What are you talking about, Micah? Like, please stop.
just be quiet. Yeah,
Just be
exactly.
quiet. Like, you're a Penn Stater. You know you don't want no beef with nobody." So, but that's what kills me because the footage that is floating out there is how much he was talking to Goddard and all the linemen about how he'd be freaked out by him, and he was saying like how he felt like intimidated by these guys, with Lane on there, and I thought to myself, well, Lane's down, so I don't even know why you even worried about Lane and Mailata.
Well, he didn't have a good game until Lane was out. Usually, so that's what.
Basically, so I think that's why
Yeah,
he was giving them pounds at the end of the game. But even so, they're looking at him like, "How you?" He's trying to make nice and stuff now, and I'm thinking to myself, you still feel obligated to try to be pally pal. Like this is supposed to be your enemy, dude.
yeah,
They ain't gonna sit down. I mean, Goddard and all them are just gonna be cool. They're gonna pound you back. They don't care. Like
yeah,
nobody. All
because
they
they're
care about
not.
is the win or the loss.
Yeah, they don't really care about all that nonsense.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny because even Terry had commented on my IG when I saw that clip. She was just like, "He is scared." I'm like, I don't know if it's that or he's trying to make nice in case he wants to be an Eagle later in his
yeah.
career. So he's trying to just stay cool with everybody because I may leave these jokers because they ain't going nowhere.
Oh
But
God,
we'll see what happens.
I would kill to see him on a line with
That's what I'm saying. You
with
never know.
Edwards. Him
Yeah,
and
you
Edwards on the field.
you never know because honestly, the way that
Maybe
Cowboys
out there
kind of
maybe
trajectory.
out there murdering people.
He be murdering people for us. He could replace anybody that doesn't leave after everybody's free agent contracts wear out, and he could come in and decide, maybe I want to finish the rest of my career in Philly. You
Have
never know.
Reddick and Edwards on the on linebacker.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. And then honestly, if they decide even to inject N'Kobe, this game, just for the
Yeah,
hell of it, I think it'll be pretty dangerous.
yeah. I can't wait to see him get some more reps too. Yeah,
Yeah, because he's pretty much been unshaken. That's why they keep him on special teams because they know that they don't want to. He doesn't want to use up all his good juice right away if he doesn't have to. Because honestly, the
yeah,
only reason why he should be in there is because they're missing either TJ or somebody else on that line, like
yeah.
Patrick, somebody. But
Or yeah,
Patrick Johnson. But at this point, like I said, most of the guys shouldn't really have to change too much from this past game, other than the fact that they're going to obviously shuffle with either what Driscoll and maybe moving over, um, say Malo, or does anything like that change now with
Yeah, yeah.
because they're going to
I
have
mean,
to be double somebody.
that's the only thing. Yeah, and I don't know if Jerky can play. He can play guard or anything. I mean, I'm
I
not
mean, they
sure.
can. I don't think it's going to be worrisome on that end, but it's just probably the chemistry might be off again for maybe the first like series.
Yeah, until they
But
get. Yeah,
yeah, because cadence wise, especially, it's not like they're playing in New Orleans, because Lord knows New Orleans is hard noise wise, even if the team is like not even
yeah. You're.
playoff
I mean,
eligible. It's loud.
you're playing in a dome. Yeah,
You're playing,
so.
yeah, you're playing here at home. So honestly, the only mess ups could be on their own if they're just not focused. Yeah, so at
Hmm.
this point, to me, the only thing is you just want to find an excuse to have a clean win and a reason to not have to worry about the following week, because the Giants game shouldn't mean anything. The Giants game should just be clearly for Gardner to have his best game. It
Hmm.
shouldn't even be a worry about Hurts or him. And I don't even really think Hurts is going to start at all this week. I think they're just putting it out there because he may be well, and it's not his it's not his throwing shoulder, which people don't seem to keep reiterating, but it is not his throwing shoulder that he hurt.
Yeah,
So I think we have to realize that it's not an issue of him throwing; it's an issue of where he lands when he gets hit. That's really what you're
yeah.
worried about.
I mean, no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in for like a half, just to or a quarter, just to
Yeah,
get some reps. And
yeah.
see what he can, and then have him sit down. Then sit him down.
Or do
Yeah,
a wild, maybe try a trick wildcat play where
have him
he's kind
come
of
in every now and
have
then.
him come in
Yeah.
every now and then just to act like a decoy wide receiver or something like that, or maybe a blocker. I don't know.
No, I
It could
don't
be
want him
one of the.
blocking. No.
No, you don't want to block. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of ways they could hide
Something
him
he
in
can.
there.
Yeah, they can hide him
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's like you don't want him to be totally Jalen, but you want to confuse the opponent to make them think they have to watch him and watch Gardner, and you may not know how to do both. At the same time.
Sure.
So I think that could be sneakily that could work. And also too, they definitely have to use Miles more. I don't care what he's done in the past, because honestly, Miles has stepped up a lot this year,
Oh
regardless of
yeah.
most recent
Yeah. Yeah.
fumbles. I
And
think he deserves to get more.
he's gonna wanna
He's
make
gonna
up
want some more reps. Yeah,
make up for what he did. He's going to,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I've never seen him that distraught before. I
Well, I
mean,
think he also knows that because it's his contract year, and because he knows that the Eagles can be really flip floppy when it comes to like important years, and you've proven yourself. He knows
yeah,
he doesn't have that upper hand if he makes any more like really really serious mistakes in a big game, that could easily decide for them to like let him search for himself. It's like let him free and look for other contracts. So he wants to be able to be guaranteed to stay.
yeah.
And
It's a tough market for running backs because
yeah, he has to realize like
I
you may
mean,
not want to shit the bed unless you have to. You know what I mean? You may want to just stay put and just let them just take what they give him, and because they may re-up him in a next season or so. You never know.
yeah,
Or
running
next
backs.
couple of years.
The market for running backs is not as big as it used to be. They don't get paid that crazy amount anymore,
Which is stupid because they use their knees.
unless they're like that guy who does mostly all the carrying, like Derrick Henry or
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
primarily as a running back. Yeah, he's not always primarily the running back, so that's
yeah,
why. Which is a shame because as much as I want to say that Kenny G has helped in certain aspects, he really hasn't. So it's like I feel like this season has been the year that Miles has had to work twice as hard to get that respect. And then when he has had the ball a lot, it usually is like in the second half of the games. I just feel like they'd be saying a lot more if they decide to let him run and not Jalen run as much as he normally did this year, just for the sake of showing everybody that they're not afraid to trust in the run a little longer. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard. It's hard when this whole scheme offensively has always been centered mostly around the quarterback, especially if they do run.
yeah.
Um, but I'm with you though. I feel like at this point, you're hoping that Miles will get the ball a lot more just for the hell of it. I
Hmm.
think that the Giants game should be Boston's game again because he's always killing the Giants no matter what. And then it should be
Yeah,
Kenny G's time to try to work on stuff that he's not really good at still, and that should be the time to use him a little more to get him more seasoned. And
yeah,
then maybe only start with Miles, but then don't use him the rest of the game unless they absolutely get behind. Because that's a game you also want to keep him from pulling anything last minute for like a stupid
Hmm.
game
Yeah.
17, you know.
Yeah, you
And
want to you want to keep him healthy. Yeah.
if Trey Sermon is decent enough, at least can run on something, use
I
him for
don't,
like maybe short
I
yardage.
don't know what's going on with him. Is he injured? Because
I have a feeling he's still injured, and maybe they underestimated how much injury he had, or maybe he re-injured
because
it.
I like Sermon. I like he's a hard
I
runner.
liked him too. Like to me, he was he
Yeah.
was he was good when he was in San Francisco. That's why when they got him in the offseason, I was like, "Ooh, crap, that's a bonus getting him."
Yeah, I was like, he's a big back too. He's not a small
And they
guy
used
either.
him once, so I
Yeah,
thought
but then
he ran pretty well.
yeah, then I guess that's when he got hurt, and then he was
Maybe
out.
that's why he got hurt. Yeah, so
So
maybe he's still hurt. I don't know. It could be a knee thing. It could be something that they're just keeping under wraps until they absolutely have to use him. But
uh,
I would hope to see him or the guys that don't run as much more for the final game of the season. Um, but we'll
mhm.
see what happens. And as far as the Sixers now, they're getting ready to play the Wizards tonight in DC. They are now going on a 8 game, hopefully 9 game tonight
Nine
winning
game
streak.
streak. Yeah,
So this is good for them.
we were there for 7.
We were there. Yes, that's another reason why we want to do this pod too. We want to talk about our experience. What did you think about our first game in a long time being in the Wells Fargo? I had fun.
I had fun. Yeah, I mean, it
It's
was.
very nice.
I like what they did with the Wells Fargo. It looks nice what they
Yeah, the
did.
club area is very nice, even though we didn't know where the hell T Will was. Shout out if you're watching. Where the hell were you? Um, but hopefully we'll
Wait,
go to another game. It
too,
was very nice though.
yeah, too bad he the work thing he couldn't get there in time.
No, he couldn't get there in time
Because
for us to
he,
see him
because who
after
knows? He
halftime.
may not even have showed up. Who knows what happened with
No, he
work?
did say he came
Oh,
because
he,
I
oh, he
told
did show up.
he
Okay.
did show up, and I think by the time I looked at my phone again, we were already heading out, and he was already he had been there, but he was just like, "Yo, I thought you were still gonna come." I was like, "I didn't know when you actually were showing up." So,
Yeah.
but I told him I said it's too bad. I was like, the whole thing got messed up because the nights were switched. Originally, we were supposed to be going to the Monday game, which would have been fun against the Toronto Raptors because I went to OT.
Hmm.
But I like it. We both had our nice little taste of the sweet life a little bit and some good
Yeah.
sandwiches and chicken tenders and everything was nice and we
Yeah.
had good seats, could see
Oh,
everything.
great seats. Great
Great
seats. Yeah.
seats. I wouldn't mind sitting in that section again. I'm always a fan of anything in the 100 level because I've always
Oh
only gotten
yeah.
tickets in the 100 level no matter
Yeah.
where I go.
I never want to sit up top all the way up there
No,
again.
I've only had that experience twice in my life and never again
I,
nosebleed ever
s-
in my
I
life.
sat up there during the Sixers playoff game back when Iverson was playing. I was like,
Yeah, he's already small. You don't need him to be
and
that
they and
small.
they and they remodeled the place since then too. So it's
Right,
like
right.
it's
A lot of
it's a
things have
lot it's
changed.
a lot nicer than it was back then.
It is, and there's a lot of nice those sidebars where sometimes they do the pre-shows or after shows or whatever, and right
Hmm.
there in that whole center area is very nice, and yeah, they did a lot of remodeling that has worked well for them, and honestly, the next with the next Eagles game uh being at home against the Saints, what is that? That is New Year's Day, technically?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Sunday. Yep. Hmm.
So that's definitely a game you would want to go to if you've never been to an Eagles game, just because it's a new year.
And the
Um,
weather's not
you're
supposed to be too bad either. So.
weather would probably yeah, it's supposed to flip. Like we're supposed to be like in the high 50s this weekend, which
Hmm.
is weird.
Yeah.
But hell, whatever.
So
If we have a
yeah.
mild winter, I'm cool with it. I don't want to shovel at all, Mother
No.
Nature. So please don't make me shovel. Um, I don't care. Global warming's already here,
I
so
saw
nothing's
your
happening.
driveway. No, you don't want to shovel.
You definitely don't want to. So you see what we're doing.
Yes.
When my dad and mom were married, we all had to be shoveling in shifts up and down in the back way of that driveway. So that was hell.
I saw your driveway. I was like,
And it's steep
yeah,
as hell.
nope,
Imagine that bitch with ice. Not even fun.
nah.
So, but anyway, but yeah, so Eddie, all in all, we had a good time. They beat the Pistons at nights handily, so it wasn't even like
Hmm.
competition.
Yeah.
I felt bad watching Maxi all in black because he can't wait to start. So hopefully we'll see him
Yeah,
next Friday.
he's itching to get in there. You know he
I'm sure
is.
he's been miserable on the sidelines. No player likes being on the sidelines. Short note, like I told Eddie, their Eagles have supposedly brought in former tight end from the Cowboys. Speaking of which, Blake Jarwin. I have no idea why. I don't know what that means for Goddard or what if that means for any of the other backup tight ends or if they're just trying to get some depth somewhere in some position.
Hmm.
But there's a reason why they worked him out. So we'll hopefully find out when. Supposedly the rumor is that Lane they're shutting him down until playoffs, which makes sense. I don't
Well,
know
they
how
kind of have to. They want to. That injury can take like 4 weeks to heal up. So
because a tendon, it's like if you tear it, like you can't get surgery
yeah.
for it, right? It has to heal itself.
You can get surgery, but it's gonna. They most players usually hold off until the end of the season to
Yeah.
do it because you can play through it if you like get some rest prior to.
Right.
You can play through it. If you
He
like
just probably has to do a lot of
take like
PT.
3 weeks off, you can easily play through it and be okay. It's still gonna
Yeah.
hurt like a bitch, but you know.
Yeah, you can just get extra padding. I guess he has to wear certain type of padding, obviously, on top of everything
Hmm.
else, so that he's not
Yeah.
aggravating it too much. But yeah, I mean, honestly, look, if he has to wear the male version of Spanx to get that bitch to stay to stay concealed
Hmm.
and not hit too much, but hey, look, Lane has been pretty much the most what's the word when you're saying somebody's been not recognized a lot,
Uh,
underappreciated.
Unsung. He's been an unsung hero for us.
Unsung hero,
Yeah.
the most not unnationally, not nationally wise, recognized right tackle in the NFL, but we appreciate him a lot because he's always been there.
Oh,
If
he
he's
didn't he make the Pro Bowl this year?
he did make the Pro Bowl this year,
Yeah, got
which
eight
was well
players.
deserved.
8 players going.
Yeah, they made Stoutland University look very, very good this
Yes,
year,
yes,
and
yeah.
we have a lot of alternates basically, and so that's good because BG's an alternate, which means if anybody else can't show up, he can be there. They're turning it in more to a flag football plus other events,
Yeah,
which actually
it should be fun. It should
it
be
should be
fun.
more fun for people like
And just
myself who like watching that stuff because
watching that boring ass game.
well, and it's
Yeah.
also like we said before, they're not going to tackle. They can't treat it like a real game because they don't want to get hurt. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of guys under contract, so you want guys to enjoy it, but also just show their face.
So they should have,
Um,
yeah. I think flag thing will be fun for them to do.
and also too,
So
most of the guys really want that because they get that extra check. That's really why they want a Pro Bowl.
yeah, and the
Besides the fact that
recognition
recognition and the extra
yeah.
check. Yeah. But okay, so then also we what was noted hello. What was recognized was JJ Watt is retiring after the season, rightfully so.
Yeah, good for him.
There's a lot of players that probably
Hmm.
should take a knee this year that won't. Tom
Brady.
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 Exactly. Selfish ass. I just feel like some people just need to give it up. But anyway, because we know he's not going to be a Buccaneer. He has no inspiration with this team anymore. I don't see him staying as a Buccaneer. I don't know where the hell. So he'd probably
Where's
try
he
to get
gonna
on the
go?
49ers because he's obsessed with the 49ers since he was a kid. I don't know how that would work because unless Jimmy G is totally released for real this time, then maybe he can go over there and retire as a 49er. I don't know.
Yeah. Who
I would even
knows?
think he would go back to the Patriots just for the hell of,
Just to retire, yeah, as a
just to
Patriot, yeah.
retire 360, kind of just it's not working with nobody else but Tom there. So then he might as well just go back where he started it and finish his career there. But
Have a Belichick reunion, yeah.
yeah, because I don't care whatever beef people think they might have had since he left. I think it just is natural that he ends his career that way, and maybe Belichick will finally take a bow. If they
I
finish the
don't know.
year
They may have
with
to
him.
drag his ass out of there.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like nothing's working for them since, and I think Mac Jones had every reason to be upset in the last like what 4 or 5 games they've lost because
Hmm.
I don't think Matt Patricia knows how to coach or coordinate. In my opinion, I don't think that Josh, what's his name, knows how to coach. Maybe a better coordinator, but not a coach for the Raiders. So somewhere along the line, that Belichick tree has very short limbs because I
Yeah,
don't think it's
right.
working. I don't think every guy knows
Nah.
how to be Belichick.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's not like that Holgram tree. Like Mike Holgram had like
yes,
yeah,
like with
all these
Andy
guys,
Reid and everybody. Yeah.
all those
So
guys branch off of him. Like, yeah, I mean, nah.
no, not everybody has that gene. Just because you
Yeah.
came from that camp doesn't necessarily mean you have that gene. Um, we also know, obviously, we know with Andy Reid still ruling in Kansas City, so that's just pretty much been home away from home for him. But you have to also wonder what's going to happen with Ravenville. Like, does Lamar stay? Does Lamar finally just pack his bag and say, "Fuck it, I'm out"? Where would he go?
Yeah.
Tua now back in concussion protocol. What the hell is that about?
Oh my god, yeah.
Which means that he shouldn't have been playing. Which, duh, after the second one, I would think that he should have been shut down the rest of the season. I don't care how close
Yeah.
Miami is; they should just roll with their backup. I'm sorry, that's what happens when you have to think about these dudes getting CTE. You know,
Hmm.
you should think about
Yeah.
that in his young career because 20 years from now, he may not remember half this shit. You know what I mean?
True.
So I just feel like Miami's not really thinking, but I don't even think that owner really cares about half the players there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean that
Obviously,
whole that franchise, I don't even know what to think right now with
it's
them.
it's a potential dumpster fire, but it's because it's been having an up and down with the record lately. They've been trying to roll with what they got, and he was doing really well up until that I guess last hit that they're starting to speculate about now because for you to wake up 2 days later after the holidays and hear that he's in concussion protocol. So when did he get a concussion?
Mm.
So now everybody re-looking at one of the hits that he had, and they think that maybe his head hit the ground really hard again. And I said, you know what? Whatever brain cells he's got left, y'all got to chill. Like it's
Like,
not
y'all
that deep
need,
anymore.
yeah, let this kid survive till next
Let him be
season,
able to
right?
make babies and be able to pronounce words. Like we have
Yeah,
to
right.
really stop ruining his future at this point. Because if he was even thinking about it now that they're saying that after the first few times he was having a rough in his rookie year, if he was starting to doubt himself like a year ago, if this doesn't make him really doubt just for his own benefit, I would think it's
Hmm.
time for him to take an early retirement like Andrew Luck. Like I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for men to tear away from something they've been dying for, but there's a
Hmm.
point after a while where you gotta do an Irish exit. Like you
Yeah,
gotta just
it's
peace
time to
out.
just bow out. Yeah.
I mean, look at Luke Kigley. He knew when it was time, when his body was not responding well after a while. He said, I'm
Hmm.
out. And it shocked everybody, but he's smart because he knew I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to function,
I'm gonna
you
enjoy my
know.
family, my
I wanna be able to
everything.
join my
Like,
family, make
yeah.
babies, be a normal dude, like, not sitting here scramble brained, up until my 40s, like, that's
Yeah.
horrible. So, anyway, you
Hmm.
gotta think about that, but I think I'm keeping my eye on the whole Ravens situation post 2022 because I definitely wanna know what Lamar is thinking. Because if he was representing himself and he didn't get his contract, do you think he really wants to get an agent, or do you think he just wants to wait and see what's gonna happen?
I don't know. I'm really surprised that they haven't paid him yet. You
I
know,
agree. And I don't think he wants to be franchised after going through what he's gone through on that team because they haven't really supported him personnel wise since his
nah, he's
MVP
been he's
year.
been he's been getting beat up. That's all he's been
He's been
doing.
getting beat up, and I don't blame him. There's no reason for him to even try to play again. Obviously, his backup's been doing fine until he got knocked out, but he came right back.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
Until
mean? And
he
he
got
kind of
knocked
slings
out
it
too.
just like him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So Tyler kind of almost plays like
Huntley.
almost
Yeah,
twin like to his game. So
except he's smaller. Yeah.
he's just smaller, but I think that's even better if you got somebody who actually plays almost like your same style, because that's what
Oh
your
yeah,
team
because you don't
on.
change. You don't change much when he's out. So yeah.
No, but I think that the issue has been with whatever their coordinator slash offensive guy was screwing up the whole season for them. I think that's what messed them up because apparently the rumor is that Greg Roman is not very liked on that staff
Mm.
now, and that coach coach fails to want to co-sign on this because you obviously are not going to sell your dude up the river, but
Nah, he's not going
apparently.
there.
Yeah, so that's the rumor is that they think that when he got on board, a lot of stuff changed and a
How
lot of
much
stuff did.
longer? And also, how much longer do they keep Harbaugh on if they
This is my point. So
keep
something's gonna have to
having
change
keep keep
drastically.
have keep having all these like years that they shoulda, woulda, coulda?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, almost made it, get to the playoffs, and then get out. So, I mean, at this point, if I was Lamar, if I'm not getting to at least the conference final for my division, then it's a fail. Because especially if he's been playing well all year up until what the last like 2 months or so.
Hmm.
So like I said, Lamar is basically your weapon, and he was trying to keep balance and not run too much as well as throw. But what are you going to do when they took away one of your deep threats again?
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't
Yeah.
think Hollywood did any better over in Arizona because Arizona's a dumpster fire too. So
Yeah. Well,
some stuff ain't worth all the money. So you just got to sit there and
nah.
eat that check and just stay where you know. You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
some
Yeah.
stuff, I understand people got families, but sometimes in the long run, some of these guys should not be on other teams. They should just stay the hell where they were.
Stayed in the
You
system
know?
that they knew and
Right.
tried to make it work there.
Right, and he's young, so it's not like he's one of these dudes that's, like, long in the tooth. That's what kills me about the whole situation. And then,
Yeah. Well.
it's gonna be one of those things. NFL is up in the air, so 2023 might be very interesting off season again,
Yeah. We'll see
just
what
for some of these
happens.
dudes. But
You can see. We can see a reshuffle again. You know.
would not shock me. I would
Yeah.
not be shocked if even the names this coming off season are more exciting or more shocking than what this year brought,
Yeah.
because there was too much bad football, let's just be honest. You and me both have said
Oh God. Yeah.
Monday and Thursday have been painful as a fuck. And that means that's a lot of teams got to shuffle some shit or get rid of some front office people because that shit is not going to work. And then you're going to have
Nope.
a nerve to be people complaining already about how much the game day ticket's going to be next season,
Oh
$300. You
God.
think I
Yeah.
want to pay for a whole season? Kiss my ass.
Mm-mm.
Kiss
Not
my
when
ass.
not when you got to watch a shitty product on the field.
Hell no. And
Yeah.
especially because I even tweeted, I said, if you want to do one or the other, you can upgrade that damn NFL app that won't let me watch games out of market because your dumbass want to make me listen to shit in Miami instead of watching my damn game. How about you do that? We can, do a one for one. If you ain't gonna step up on the game ticket thing, at least make the app more accessible.
True.
I think people are willing to pay for that ticket all year with
Oh
an app
yeah,
that
yeah,
you can put on your tablet, your phone, and your watch anywhere
and you can
than worrying
watch.
about
Yeah,
cable. Because not everybody's sitting home watching games anymore. People are still
yeah.
moving and watching on their phone. So
Hmm.
there's my commercial. All right, Eddie. Well, we definitely were looking forward to this last 2 weeks. I know is going to be kind of a snore with the holidays. All this stuff kind of gets lost in the because honestly, that was
Yeah,
the biggest game was the Cowboy game at this point to me.
man, we
I
got
mean,
two
I'm
more
I'm, I'm
weeks.
obviously going to watch, so it don't matter. But 2 weeks
Yeah,
left of the regular season.
yeah.
Um, I think it's be more exciting to see literally some of these divisions literally scream, claw, and grab their
I
way to a
mean,
playoff six
there's something
seed.
that can. There's a lot of people that can still sneak their way in. So we'll see what
Yo,
happens.
NFC South is a toss up. Yo, yo, they still got a chance in Buccaneer land. Like I'm sure my dad is tuned out on this team, but he's like, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
They still hold. They still can go right in
I mean, it's like holding on by their nails,
with the losing record. They can get in still.
I just want to know who's going to be the team that I could bet money on and no one's going to think that's going to end up in that last seed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait to see. There's going to be somebody who shouldn't be there. There's always
Yeah.
one team that's like, you just lucky such and such loss because your ass wouldn't even smell a playoff if it wasn't for such and such choking at the last minute.
Mm. Yeah.
This whole
This
battle
week.
between San Francisco and then,
Yeah, these
um,
last 2 weeks should be interesting.
yeah, not for us because we're going to be up top looking down. Hey,
Yeah, just gotta take care
we
of
up here
business on
going, what
Sunday.
y'all doing?
Yep, just gotta take care of business on Sunday. That's all.
That's all we need. Let's hope that they don't make it harder on themselves and they need to, because I feel like that whole team of the past of always fucking up when they should be winning is in the past. I think those mental mistakes in that last game just proved that that wasn't supposed to happen, but the Dallas stepped it up when they needed to. They were more
Yeah,
desperate, honestly, because at this point Dallas had already fucked away 2 games in a row. They weren't going to do a third. You know,
yeah,
I think Dak really demanded himself to step up when he fucked up in the beginning of that game because he was like, nope, 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 this can't happen. We got to keep going. They
yeah.
gave too much money for him to be sitting there casual about that throw. There was a couple times my mom even said, "Why would he throw directly to mom?" I was like, "Mom, because he assumed somebody was already down there, just like he did last game, and that's the
Hmm.
problem. He needs to stop assuming stuff and follow through. They're not
Yep.
always gonna be paying attention when you paying attention. So,
Nah.
all right, so let's just speedy wishes to Avante, to Jalen. I think Jalen's chilling, listening to some Anita Baker somewhere, just waiting.
More Anita Baker, right?
Lane, Lane,
Lame. Yeah.
and who else is still injured? Oh yeah, Big Baby Davis is hurt too. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get him back. I don't even know what his injury was. Tell you the truth, I wonder if say it was a knee
Yeah.
or ankle.
Yeah. I didn't see anything else
Yeah.
about him.
Hopefully
So
he'll be back in there if it's not too serious. If not, I just pray they save him for the playoffs because we're definitely gonna need him. And
we need our big boys in the middle. Yeah.
we need our big boys in the middle, and we need Josh Sweat to keep being Josh Sweat because the homie is hungry. And if he keeps blowing up in people's faces, him and Hassan both,
Oh
ain't
God.
nobody
Yeah.
gonna be worried. Ain't nobody gonna be worried until playoffs is really gonna be on then. Because if they start now to get hot, playoffs, have mercy on the first team. That's all I gotta say. Between them and Hurts. All right,
Yep.
Eddie. So us co-eds, we're happy to 13-2. We're not blue at all. Hopefully none of
Nah.
y'all start jumping off the bandwagon so early. And if you are, just stay there then, because we don't need that energy right now.
Nah.
13-2 is not bad. And we already said no matter what happened in these last 3 weeks, they were gonna be fine regardless. So
Are we gonna sneak a pot in before the end of the year? Or are we gonna
yeah, we got
do?
to. Because I mean, I'm not going anywhere for New Year's Eve. I'll probably be doing a Zoom New Year's Eve. So
Yeah, I
we
don't know
might as well just
yet,
get it
but
in
we can
just
do
before.
before. Yeah,
We can do it
we can
before.
sneak. We can sneak another one in. I mean, we got till
Sneak another
Saturday.
one in if you feel like it, if you and me both feel like we can
Do
still
do something quick, real quick.
do something
Just
quick.
the usher in the new year.
Might as well, because I figure like all the more reason to be more positive about how this week is gonna go. Because I'm already putting it out there, they're gonna win this game, and whether it be close or not, it doesn't matter. A win's a win. So, and you
Yep.
know what? I have faith in Gardner to get it back because he won for us last year against the Jets, so he can do this
Yeah. Yep.
no matter what. All right. So we'll see y'all later in the week. Keep your Kwanzaa on, and hope you're enjoying the rest of the week. And if you have to go back to work like me for 2 days, it's gonna be going over fast.
Just
Peace
for two
out.
days.
Shout to us remote people.
Yeah,
Remote
I'm
life is
remote, but I
great.
gotta go back. I gotta go back to work. I'm working all. I worked already all week, so
Yeah, okay. So
yeah.
I'm off again
I,
Friday, so I'll be working
I'm
Wednesday.
off Monday, so that's good.
So we're both off Monday. So yeah, so either way, you will hear from us again in the next pod. And yeah, go Sixers, beat the Wizards, and we'll talk to y'all next pod.
Later.
Holla.